Samus players essentially playing poorly. You know, there aren't a lot of like easy rest setups besides like the Fire Puff 12 Nair rest, and even that is a pretty YOLO-y setup, so I don't expect that's going to be a big part of the match. It's more just going to be those spaced aerials and pressuring the edge guard situations.
You know, I gotta ask before we really get into the play-by-play and analysis for this one, have we kind of conceded to calling it the Fire Puff 12 at this point? Because for as long as I've known, it was called the King.
I know, right? Like, it's one of those things where, in some ways, fun to say it as the Fire Puff 12. You know, when I used to play a lot, I do the Nair Rest too, and I never thought to myself, this is the Fire Puff 12. So, you know, Fire Puff is just such a passionate player that
absolutely,
you know, yeah, it feels earned in some ways, but I think you can push it a little too far because Nair Rest, it is not a super reliable setup. It is definitely the kind of thing that you got to be careful when using, and because auto can lead into things like F smash and stuff as well, it's not even always worth going for. So that's definitely something you want to be aware of as well.
Sure. Yeah. As we speak, though, full minute has elapsed, not a stock taken, and there probably won't be one for a little while. It takes quite a bit of neutral wins for Puff to find a kill off of the side blast zones.
Yeah, what she is going to be looking for is that drill into up smash, one of her most reliable components, especially in floaty matchups. And like I said before, Samus really just going to be looking for charge shots primarily and like building up damage. So there you go. Gets Puff up in the air, gets the charge shot.
Yeah.
Ooh, just barely misses it too.
Okay. Yeah, finds it either way. Death off the top is pretty good too because he gets a full charge on the neutral beat as well. See if he can hang on to this stock for a little bit longer.
Really love the bomb pressure we're seeing, like, let's the charge shot rip too. Again, missile's going to be really important. Is how Puff plays around the projectiles, is a huge part of the game, but Samus commits to missiles so quickly or so heavily sometimes that the aerial drift can really be a challenge.
Yeah, and I think kind of oh wow, what an answer.
He doesn't get the tech either.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think just letting that charge shot go as early as Swooper did, I don't really have that big of a problem with that either, because especially if you think you might just die to a stray back air at some point, get the damage in now, you're kind of halfway to a stock against Jigglypuff like that.
No, absolutely. Didn't see a punish on the up B there. That's also something you want to be kind of watching for, like up B out of shield. Samus's fastest option out of shield, I believe it's 5 frames. Very quick. But it kind of commits her to being in the air, and as a very aerially focused character, beautiful power shield by the way.
Yeah.
It can sometimes be an unsafe option. Puff can get under it and punish you with an up air or a back air.
No way. I guess that's a real setup too, because realistically, what else are you gonna do to read the tech in?
No, for sure. I like what we've been seeing from 119J. She's got an interesting style for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That power shield was pretty immaculate. Let's see if we can see a few more of those throughout. Just straight up dodges that one instead. But a bit of a mountain to climb, and that's the thing that gets hard, because especially in the Puff's position here, 119J just needs to basically straight up win neutral a few times in a row to stand a chance at killing Samus, or get the gift of Swooper going for a grab and whiffing.
Yeah, grabs are not something you're going to see nearly as often. Such a high committal option, but I like what we've been seeing from Swooper. The aerial drift from Swooper as well, quite good. Going for that little edge cancel up B earlier. I like to see that. It's a solid amount of charge off that too, but this should do it, I think.
Yeah, no, double fair is not enough, even at like 160. That's going to do it, but I mean, look at how much work 119J had to do to get there.
It's funny because I agree, that you got to really build event, and that's kind of if you're really pushing and surviving, that's what makes it difficult. The matchup's so difficult, but I also think that Puff has a really solid advantage in neutral, and it's kind of like what you see like Puff versus say Peach, where it's like if you stay in that range where you're back airing, they struggle to deal with it. Not as much as Peach struggles, but still it is rough.
Yeah, feeling each other out a bit more as well. And I think something that's kind of interesting to note when it comes to... What? From downtown? He really had it like that? The 3-point jumper? Jeez.
It's very solid. Again, like I said, you want to be looking for, is Samus getting the charge shots? Because that is the difference maker in the matchup. gets a solid punish from the up B. Again, it's an option you want to be careful for, and this edge guard is everything, Walt. You know, can
not there, finds ledge.
Oh, couple of jumps left, but does get them refreshed. Good light shield to avoid the shield poke.
Yeah, and I wanted to say before that absolutely insane snipe from the Swooper, it's almost scary being 119J and having to put yourself into shield as well, because we've seen Swooper kind of elect for all of these crazy bomb pressure sequences. And like this, what's going on? Yes.
You know, it feels like almost like an old school thing to bring up that if Jigglypuff shield breaks, she dies, because like feels like everyone knows that, but like it's relevant, man. And just as I say that, Swooper gets a solid charge shot, 2-stock game. Where are we going, Walt? Dreamland could be on the table, but Samus probably doesn't love it.
Maybe, but like you got to think this. What was that? Game 1 on Battlefield, right? And that one still went to, what was it, a 6-minute and change game? Like, that's a long one. I think if you're going to Dreamland, you're like, all right, well, I'm going to win on the timeout then. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I like Dreamland for Puff just because of the edge guarding stuff I mentioned earlier. You know, being able to live long yourself, but pressure Samus in a way that other characters can't, can be a real asset. But you can also play kind of campy, get the missiles going. You know, it just depends. I think FD is also quite good, so wouldn't be surprised to see us go there.
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to see, but I mean, I don't know. Open spaces like that, Swooper really seems like he can make the most out of it, especially that third stock jumper, like super clean. I'm sure we're probably going to get a Twitter clip of that in some variety, because that was just a nutso shot. But yeah, we'll see what the counter pick comes through for 119J. Needs to win 2 in a row to take this one over Swooper. All things considered, though, I mean, not an awful showing by any means.
No, yeah, 119J seems like a very capable player, and you know this could go either way. I'm reminded actually of a thing I've wanted to make a YouTube video about for a while, which is a story that the legend Kirby Kaze told a Samus player that I was talking to way back in like 2014, 2015, where that Samus player was talking to me about how important it is to have a game plan, and why Kirby Kaze was stressing, like, you know, if you don't really have something guiding you in a match, like, you're not as likely to do things that sort of benefit what your character is good at. And he said it can be really simple. For example, if you're Puff versus Samus, your game plan can just be get charge shot. Sure. Nothing else. Just everything focused around, if I can get the charge shot, then hit the charge shot. And I love, you know, Kirby Kaze, anyone who knows his play style, very kind of analytical, knowledgeable player, and that just really stuck with me. You know, this kind of charge shot is good. You know, it's a good move in this matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's interesting also when, you know, sometimes floaty matchups get a little bit of slack, and I try to fight back when it comes to these sort of things, because I think you really get to see, you know, neutral punish, and then most specifically game plan boiled down to their most, you know, granular and simplistic elements. Like the idea of finding your win conditions, kind of like what you were just alluding to, comes into huge effect in a floaty matchup, and you see this kind of development over time where it's like, yeah, Swooper gets first on the board.
No, well, I totally agree. It's exactly what you're saying. Like, because the game is kind of slower, like, and not in a bad way, but just, you know, you're not like spamming multi-shines on each other's shield. You're not like moving at the speed of light by playing Fox. You have time to like think about what your opponent is doing and really react and play around that. Like, the speed at which players are adapting to each other is almost quicker because they're not having to be like as quick thinking. So for that reason, it can be very interesting for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. As we speak, though, 119 looking to even up the stocks right here. Swooper gets back on ledge, finds the stock right there with only 45% to her name. Let's see what the Jigglypuff can make happen here. And I mean, the biggest thing that I'm noticing when it comes to these first 2 games right now, Radar, is just no opportunities for 119J to find a rest.
Yeah, you know, I said it before. It is so difficult. There just really aren't setups. The only ones you can kind of go for, the Fire Puff 12 Nair Rest. You can go for like these back air rests that you won't see a lot of people doing, particularly the reverse back air. And then like up tilt at the very lowest percent. I love that bomb pressure. That was sick.
Restocks to 2. Yeah, and I'm more than once I'm getting kind of nervous, bated breath a little bit when 119J pops up in shield, because I think sooner or later Swooper's gonna find some type of sweep sequence that will allow that shield to crack.
Yeah, no, I agree. And another thing I'd love to see from 119J, wow, just lets it rip and gets it, is I feel like she is forcing the front-facing game a little too hard. We've been seeing a lot of forward airs, a lot of kind of in-your-face neutral air forward air, that kind of stuff, and not so much like back air zoning. And I think back air is one of the moves that Samus kind of struggles to deal with if you have that kind of perfect spacing.
Sure.
So this could be a big moment. I like the grab. You wouldn't have been able to kill, I don't think, but that I think is really hurting her. So who doesn't get the up smash? Beautiful light shield. Love the grab.
Swooper with the bombs. Oh, no tech, but he's dead. Okay. 2-2,
Yeah.
but I mean, as we speak, you know, when 119J found the first stock, I believe they were at about 40%. So now this lead is just extending ever so slightly in favor of the Swooper.
But, you know, 119J kind of clawing back. Could get a tech chase rest. Doesn't go for it, though. That is something I'd love to see more Puff players go for. We've seen...
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So close.
Yeah, that was really close.
Radar, I would have fallen out of my chair and not gotten back up for a minute. You would have had to finish the game if that happened.
These bombs, too, like, just kind of threatening space in kind of a fun way. Probably wants to move in with backer, but you can see, like 119J is not really sure exactly what they do.
Power shield bomb.
Up B, though. Up B once again. This is so close, Walt.
Yeah, the screw attacks are really good. Oh my god, the first grab of the game, too.
Yeah. Oh. I feel like just any clean hit gets Swooper, or sorry, 119J in the position that she wants Swooper to be in, but Swooper just finding any room that he can to get the charges, to sort of chip away percent. It's huge. Like, this stock has just been so, you know, important.
Ooh. Yeah, so patient too. I mean, we're seeing it now 3-4 times in a row. Swooper finally going to fall off. This is not out of the realm of possibility. Again, rest. Have not seen it the entire set. Maybe this is the part where 119J brings it out. But, you know, the patience from Swooper multiple times lands on platform, instant full light shield, and then just waits, kind of expecting 119J to throw out a hitbox.
Yeah, no, you're so right about the rest thing. I think, you know, we need to get a bit of percent more. 19 is probably going to do it, but even still, like, one other setup that you sometimes see could have been a rest away.
That was so close, yeah.
Actually is kind of out of shield. You can do things like down smash, or if they force a dash attack. But, whoa, I don't like this kind of forcing the corner situation sort of is 119J. But just as I say that, now it's Swooper that's cornered, and the rest, oh my god, dude. Dude.
Let's go. That was insane.
That was so quick. Like, I just want to watch.
That was a hard call out too. There was no setup there outside of just completely reading Swooper's movement option from the ledge. Absolutely, just lets it go all or nothing. And if you miss that, you lose the set. Honestly, like, huge props to just go for that in that situation.
Yeah, that was actually so sick. That was so sick. I will say that watching the replay, because I agree, it felt like there was just coming out of nowhere. 119J, she got in the right position for it.
Yeah.
Hoping for the roll up. Wow. That like, did anyone in the chat expect that game that way? Like, literally anyone? I know that's going. Like, that's gotta be going on Twitter. That was,
yeah, for sure,
asserting dominance. Like, whew. You know, Mojo Monkey bringing up in chat, who rolls up from ledge as Samus? I kind of know what he's saying, but her ledge options aren't great though. Like, is she gonna go for like a forward air, I guess, or something?
You have to think from, I think, Swooper's perspective as well. How many rolls from the ledge realistically did he do? Probably less than you can count on one hand. I would say. You know, the amount of times he would just either land on stage or just get hit by something, take hit, and then just tech roll away. Like, I don't know. Even if you're ready for it, it's still kind of like you got to be confident to get that rest. So,
Yeah, whew, that was like so often rest, rightfully so, gets brought up as like such a powerful option. It can reverse things so quickly. Oh, that's
okay. No, sleeping on the job.
I wonder what went down there. But what I was gonna say was basically just that, like, so often people bring up rest as this thing that, like, you know, able to punish every situation, but it's also such a hard commitment while it's all pain. What are we looking at?
Are we in the Matrix right now?
Absolutely. I mean, it would explain why 119J was able to read Swooper's ledge options so crazy.
Yeah,
there.
I don't know.
Look at these platforms.
Blue bow pilled us that time, so let's see if it works out. Going into game 3, this is set point for either player now.
So, once again, we are seeing Swooper commit even more heavily to the... Basically, Swooper says, get away from me, I just want to damage. My game plan, which was getting the charge shot, and now at 40, probably 50% is where you're solidly able to kill Puff if she's close to the ledge. So, just needs that setup, that down air. Oh, goes for the hard read there.
Ooh, power shields, okay. Yeah, and I think this is kind of good, right? 119J playing a bit more of a measured game than some of the previous ones we might have seen right now. Not overextending, just kind of playing the slow game, understands what the pace of this match is going to be at this point.
Yeah, that really, really good stuff so far. Double checking, I see I'm having some mic issues. Hopefully that improves.
Back air from 119J, break up the action from Swooper, but Swooper has time to charge up. Knocked off stage again, 164, not enough, but one more aerial will do it.
They hit the bomb, dude, but they're still going to recover. Swooper still recovers. That's what I'm talking about, intercepting the bomb. Oh, these have been beautiful edge guards.
Yeah, really good stuff by 119J, taking first stock of this game 3. Really just kind of playing the I'm going to exhaust you out of every single option you have, and I'll find the kill eventually. Good stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know some people in chat talking about finding the background distracting. Worth mentioning that the competitors themselves are not doing anything. Like they're not playing on this, so it's not something you need to be watching out for.
Sure. FGC response to that would just be get good, but
sorry, just once again trying to figure out. There's been a bit of mic issues.
yeah, I'm kind of wondering, I think, just looking into some of this pressure as well, Swooper has shown that he's very capable of doing double missiles off platform. Not really electing to do that all too much. Kind of giving 119J avenues to approach and get in where it makes sense. Oh my god, that shield!
I love. Oh my, yeah, the shield is so small. I love these wave dashes on the platform. Just a really creative way to kind of bait aerial space. But you mentioned the missiles on Pokemon Stadium, kind of a thing Pokemon Stadium is known for. Wow, just what's going on here? Oh my god, dude! The Professor Xavier mind read, just like in 119J's head. Oh my god.
That was the two of us are going to take 10 paces back, and when I say draw, we'll turn around and shoot. Swooper got there first. Holy moly. Still down, though. I mean, needs to kind of pick up some of this war of attrition, find a few conversions into damage. Oh, God. Every time 119J puts the shield up, though, I'm like, again, I just get nervous a little bit now.
Yeah, this has just been such an interesting set. That is, oh, by the way, we saw the little Nair flank with the not fully charged charge shot. That is a tool that 119J can rely on. Also a great tool is the down air up smash. Just one of the most reliable kill setups in this matchup. But
did he extend her radar? I think he did.
No, very, very fun to even be going for that in such a high pressure. This is so close. One of the things I really liked during this set is that
oh my god,
these down airs, dude. The Swooper has been charging kind of in 119J's face, but because Swooper can just let that charge go at any moment, 119J can't really like disrespect it. Oh my god, the nair out of shield punish. Was that a shield drop?
Yeah.
It has to be,
I don't
right?
have words. Talk for me. I can't.
So if it's a shield drop, Puff is going to get a 4-frame advantage there because, again, this is the kind of stuff that I've left out in my video, because she doesn't have to go through the jump squat, right? So there's only one startup frame. So that might have allowed her to get just one of the most insane rests I've seen in a minute. But Swooper answering back with the charge shots, building up a lead, showing us that, you know, Swooper is not to be taken lightly and, you know, play into the game plan all throughout this set.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is crazy talking about, again, that shield drop setup was like, you know, I was just saying to you earlier, like, I get really nervous because eventually I feel like that shield's going to crack. Swooper's going to find a sequence of moves that's going to be enough shield damage to just kill Puff off the top there. 119J straight up baited him with that. Was like, here, look, I'm holding my shield in my hand. What are you going to do about it? Gotcha. Well, here we go. And now I'm up a full stock.
Yeah, I really like 119J's approach to the neutral. She's doing a lot of stuff that I think demonstrates a very solid understanding of the matchup and kind of what Samus cannot do and what Samus can do. But beautiful charge shot, wall, just right in her face, man. Just, whoo.
Yeah, and that's so rough too, because I think if 119J doesn't exhaust any jumps there and takes that charge shot on ground or even one of the side platforms, she lives. So, but because she used 1 or 2 jumps beforehand, just caught that straight to the face, now we're seeing a last stock situation here with 2 minutes to go on the clock.
Yeah, you know, all of this really comes back to that insane rest we saw earlier. Like, this would be such a different game if 119J wasn't able to get it. And, you know, this is still so close. A charge shot absolutely will kill here.
This is scary, yeah.
Oh, there it goes. Let's rip too early. Maybe it's even been a misinput. Oh, the percents are so huge.
Yeah, and we're seeing kind of maybe perhaps some nerves kicking in here, Radar, because it was before 119.
Oh, yeah, it's over. It's over. Alms attack? No, it's over. Oh my god. Oh, no. Of all the ways to end it, just a misinput. Probably was a pound or something.
I think it was. Oh, you hate to see that. Oh my gosh.